Welcome to Arno Illic's channel, the author of The World According to AI. My name is Sandeep Ashla. I'm an executive coach who works with leaders to help them decide and make decisions both with clarity and confidence. And I've had the privilege of working with Arno for the last 8 years and being friends with him. So when I saw the book come out, I absolutely grabbed it right away because I wanted to hear the nuggets and stories. So given that my work is in leadership, Arno, I have a challenging enigma that I want you to resolve. You ready for that?
Sure.
So in a leadership chapter, actually the very first chapter on leading, you talked about how important it is for leaders to be organized, to build processes if processes don't exist, so that everybody has clarity about how work needs to be done. But later in the chapter, you talk about how important it is for leaders to remain flexible. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how can we both have processes, standardized ways of organization, and still remain flexible?
That's a good question. Yes, because it does seem almost like a dichotomy of positions. And in reality, while our life is a dichotomy when you really look at it that way, but from a transactional point of view, let's say that, I have 30 trailers to offload today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare how I'm going to go about it. I've selected in my mind which trailers need to be offloaded first and so on. I do all this stuff before I even come to work. So I'm all geared up for my processes. And then I come into work and find that, 4 people have booked off sick. The previous shift forgot to charge up the forklifts and so on. So now all of a sudden I'm at a loss, right? Now I think, oh, I had this plan in place, and how do I keep making my plan? Well, the thing is that's where you need to be flexible and say, guess I better start a different plan, and how do I still offload the 30 trailers with half my resources missing? And, then I look at it and say, okay, well, let's see if some of my other colleagues have any spare people that they can help with and so on. And, those are the kinds of things you sort of have to be flexible about. When you're disciplining somebody, for instance, because of something that they failed to do or they failed to follow a process. The idea is not to jump to a conclusion in terms of, oh, you screwed up and so on. No, it goes a little deeper than that, and to be open to another explanation. And they may have said, yeah, another supervisor came along and asked me to do something else, and so I went to do that, and I forgot all about what I was supposed to be doing. So there are sometimes mitigating circumstances that require you to be flexible. On the same token, you need processes because it reduces the chances of you making errors. And sometimes we say, well, this process doesn't work, so I'll do a workaround. And well, no, because now the process everybody thinks is still good, where in reality it isn't, because you've gone around and done something else to get the result. So we need to change our process.
Yeah. Very interesting. So what I'm hearing is absolutely that organization and processes are important. A
Yes.
good leader would think that through. So the thinking work of making sure that the work is standardized, people have clarity of what needs to be done, and also that there is reducing the amount of errors that people make because you have laid out the steps.
Yeah.
And if the steps are not working or some steps are missing where an individual creates a workaround, let's make sure we actually revise the process and communicate that. And loved what you talked about, the flexibility piece. Two things that stood out when I was hearing you give that example. One was, I think it's a mindset that as leaders, we need to keep an open mind. There is never a day things are going to go exactly how we planned. So how do we mitigate that rather than be frustrated? If we're expecting that things may not work out, and be resourceful in seeing how we will address what we need to address. I think that flexibility as a mindset is a big piece. And the second thing I heard there was ask for help. When you told
Yes,
me the example, like that's hard. That's hard sometimes. But flexibility can lead to success. It does not have to be a barrier if something is not working.
so true.
Very insightful. Thank you so much, Arno. We appreciate these insights. Anyone who is listening and has not yet purchased the book, there are so many different topics that Arno covers. Leadership is the last one, but there are all kinds of topics from parenting and love to relationships and politics and religion, you name it. Whatever you are fascinated about, there are insights that may be interesting for you. So if you haven't purchased the book, it is available through Amazon and Goodreads and Barnes and Nobles out of the US stores. If you read it and enjoyed it, want to give it as a gift at Christmas to a friend or colleague, we highly encourage you to do that. So thank you again, Arno, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.